Take two.
This is Stephen, the Disney Drago Robinson. You're watching the one and only Sport Icon. Bow!
Okay, so over the last few days, ever since Tyson Fury done that True Geordie podcast, I've seen a lot of people here on YouTube, especially on Twitter, and I know I should know better than to look at comments on Twitter, where a lot of people are saying things like, it looks like Tyson Fury's back on the I hate foreigner train. Now, I think I see it a little bit different to some of these people, which I'm going to explain in this video. I don't see it as something that Tyson Fury is really saying wrong. I think I understand where Tyson Fury is coming from, which I'm going to explain as this video goes along. Now, I've said ever since I started my channel that I'm very, very biased when it comes to British and Irish fighters. Every time they fight, I want them to win, okay? Even if they're fighting some of my favourite fighters who are not Irish, who are not British. Like, for example, back in the day, I was a big fan of Mike Tyson. Even though he scared me, of course, I was a kid, but I wanted Frank Bruno to win. I wanted Lennox Lewis to win, of course, because they were British, right? With Canelo Alvarez, I'm a huge Canelo fan. I'm a huge Triple G fan. But I wanted Amir Khan, Billy Joe Saunders, and Callum Smith to win. I wanted Matthew Macklin. I wanted Kell Brook and whatever else. I wanted them to win. When Amir Khan and Kell Brook fought Terence Crawford, I'm a huge Terence Crawford fan, right? I wanted them to win, even though I support them anyway. Whenever Katie Taylor fights, I want Katie Taylor to win. Gary Spike O'Sullivan and Carl Frampton and whoever, I want them to win. I do. It doesn't mean that I dislike other people. It just means on that specific night, I don't want that person to win. I want my own person to win. Now, for me, it could go back to what you're familiar with, I suppose. Now, it's never been about race for me, ever. Never once has been. I think a lot of you know that by now. But nationality has always been a thing, especially with football. Like World Cup, I want England to do well, of course. But I also want Scotland to do well. I want Wales to do well in the World Cup, in the European Championships. I want Ireland to do well. I want Northern Ireland to do well. But again, I'm always going to want England to win if they come up against each other, okay? That's just how I am. But again, it goes back to what you're familiar with. Obviously, I'm born, I'm raised here in the United Kingdom, England to be precise. But of course, I have ancestry from Ireland. My great-great-great-granddad, I think it is, my mum used to speak about him all the time, was an Irish bare-knuckle champion. On my father's side, it goes all the way back through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, all the way back to Northumberland, where the Vikings were invading. So listen, I don't mean that I've got DNA for pillaging and the other things that they used to do, not at all. But I'm familiar more with Ireland and, of course, the United Kingdom, because that's more recent history. I don't feel like I really have an association with Norway, with Sweden, with Finland, where the Vikings and that come from. But still, it's what you're familiar with. And maybe that's the same with Tyson Fury. Maybe. Because again, foreigner, is it a derogatory term, a word, a bad word? No, it's not. Yeah, of course, ultimately, we're all human. We're all the same race, the human race, right? But it is familiarity. I think that's what it is. Is it two-faced of him? Considering that because he's got a British passport and whatever else, and anybody who doesn't have a British passport, you are foreign. Officially, you are. If I go to Ireland, I am officially a foreigner. If I go to America, I'm the foreigner, okay? But is it two-faced of Tyson Fury in the sense of when he was an amateur, he tried to represent Ireland as an amateur for the Olympic Games. He was turned down because his lineage wasn't strong enough. Even though his lineage is from Irish travellers, right? From Ireland. As a professional heavyweight, he was Irish heavyweight champion. But again, if you look at his record, was he 33 fights deep? Is he 33 with one draw or 32 with one draw? I forget now off the top of my head. Only 6 or 7 of those were actually British. The rest of them were all quote-unquote foreign. And even though those 6 or 7 British, 2 of those weren't born in the UK, Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora. Now, I consider them British, of course I do. And I want them to win each and every time that they fight, right? But it is two-faced of him to talk about foreigners. Of course, he's spoken about immigration and things like that in the past, where there's like a lot of Polish, Romanian, Bulgarian, whatever, coming into the UK through the hundreds of thousands. They were. Fury, he had a problem with that. He did, as a lot of people did. But it is what it is. I'm going to presume that he voted Brexit. I'm going to presume leave. But at the same time, most of his fights are against quote-unquote foreigners. They are. Wilder is a foreigner, right? He fought him 3 times. Seferi, Francisco Pianeta, Otto Wallen, Tom Schwartz, foreigners. So when he's saying about fighting Derek Chisora, as opposed to these foreigners, like people who either A, can't speak English, he said in the past before, but more recently because he can't pronounce their names. Again, he's probably talking about Arsenbek Makhmudov. It's not the easiest name in the world to say. I mean, I can say it now because I've said it 100 times, right, through the rankings videos and things like that. But yeah, for a lot of people, they'll look at Tyson Fury fighting Makhmudov and go, well, who the hell's that? I can't pronounce his name. Now, what he's telling you, and this is pretty much the crux of it, what he's telling you is he needs help selling tickets. Because him saying people are familiar and know who Derek Chisora is, that's helping sell tickets. He needs help selling tickets. Fury has never been a big ticket seller. He never has been, ever. Even in the rematch, of course, it didn't happen with Vladimir Klitschko, the Manchester Arena didn't even get up to, what was it, half tickets sold? He's never been a big ticket seller. Against Otto Wallen and Tom Schwartz in Las Vegas, what was it, 2,000 or 3,000, whatever it was, maybe 4,000 in the arena. Not a big ticket seller. All 3 of the Deontay Wilder fights, not one of them was a complete sellout, not one of them. But he needed somebody who people are familiar with, say here in the UK, like a Dillian Whyte. That's how Wembley Stadium was sold out. That's how over 80,000 were sold out within an hour. Because people were familiar with Dillian Whyte. People want to see Fury versus Dillian Whyte. Okay, the fight didn't live up to what we were hoping for, which is a classic fight. It didn't live up to that, okay, granted. But people wanted to see that fight. They were asking for that fight for quite some time. So it's going to sell tickets, all right? Him fighting Chisora has a lot of fans, so it's going to sell tickets. And even now, over a week later, this is the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is, 32,000 less than Wembley Stadium, still hasn't sold out. Imagine had he fought Makhmudov. What kind of ticket sales would it have done? Now, I know Fury, he said about when he's fighting Dillian Whyte and now he's fighting Derek Chisora, this is all about the Tyson Fury roadshow. People are turning up to see Tyson Fury, nobody else. Doesn't matter who he fights. It does matter. And he's told you it matters. Because people weren't going to buy tickets to watch him take on Makhmudov, for example. But they will for Derek Chisora. He needs help selling tickets. He's not an Anthony Joshua superstar ticket seller. He's not. He's a big star, for sure he is. And for some people in like their own mind, their own world, their own bedroom walls even, he's a superstar, okay? But in reality, in the grand scheme of things, he's not a superstar on comparison with an Anthony Joshua or Canelo Alvarez for ticket selling and things like that. He's not. Joshua has fought people that most people wouldn't have heard of outside of hardcore boxing fans. But you see a lot of people say how most of Anthony Joshua fans are casual boxing fans. Yeah, but they buy the tickets. Doesn't matter who he fights. How many of these people really heard of Dominic Brazil, Eric Molina, Alexander Povetkin, Kubrat Pulev, and others? But they still bought tickets to watch Anthony Joshua. They don't do that with Fury. They don't. And this is the difference. He needs help. And I think that's where he's coming from. So when he's talking about these foreigners, quote unquote, it's not that he's being derogatory about foreigners. It's just that he's saying, I can't sell with these people. I can't. I need help selling. Chisora helps. Dillian Whyte helps. Anthony Joshua helps. These others, they don't help. That's where he's coming from. That's my thoughts, my opinion. You drop me yours, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.